Alright, so the first step in creating the complicated pattern is opening up Photoshop. Okay, that's my previous picture. You're going to go to File and New. So you're going to make a new document. I'm going to call this Complicated Pattern. Okay, and the width here is going to be 4 inches by 4 inches by 72 pixels per inch, just like the last one. Hit OK. You're going to get a little white square. Perfect. I'm going to hit Command plus a couple times just so I can get it a little bit bigger here. Okay, actually Command minus. Awesome. I changed the size so I can't really see the edges. Awesome. Okay, here we go. Okay, so it should look like 4 inches by 4 inches. Okay, you have to have your rulers on and they have to be in inches. I'll show you why. You grab your move tool and you absolutely need to have this perfectly done at 2 inches and 2 inches, right? So line up just like we did in alphabet photography. Click, drag, and hold from the left hand ruler and the top. Okay, and so when you know that this is perfect, that's when we can move on to the next step. So this is essentially our grid. What I'm going to do is unlock our background layer, okay, and make a new layer. Okay, so I can turn this off or on. And on my new layer, I'm going to use my brush. Okay, so I'm going to grab my brush tool. Make sure you're grabbing the right brush tool. A lot of the things I saw from you guys, a lot of the problems that we had were because you weren't using the correct tool. Okay, and grab a color you want. I'll just choose purple. And you kind of want it somewhere in the center like this. Okay, and I'm just going to click. Awesome. Okay, and now what we're going to do is we're going to cut up this image into the 4 quadrants. Okay, so you're going to make sure you're on the right layer. Grab your rectangle marquee tool. And you're going to cut each of these quadrants out. So whenever you're trying to cut one of these out, click and hold from like the top or outside the corner here. So I'm going to click up here, drag down, and it automatically selects those edges. And it's going to snap to the edges where I have the lines. Okay, and then I'm going to right click on it, layer via copy. Okay, and now you can see it went a little bit darker, but now I see here we have a new layer. Okay, so what we're going to do is click and drag that layer into the opposite corner. Okay, and it has to line up perfectly or it won't work. Okay, so all I did is I grabbed this corner and moved it down here, and we're going to continue on doing that. So go back to my original layer, grab my rectangle marquee tool, click and drop over here, let it snap to those lines, right click, layer via copy. You'll see I have another new layer. Grab my move tool, I'm going to move it to the opposite corner, just like that. Perfect. Go back to my original image, and I'm going to click and drag and let go once it's snapped to those. Make sure you're on your right layer here, guys. Okay, so I'm going to layer via copy again. It's going to go a little bit darker. Grab my move tool, move it in the top left hand corner. Awesome, now I only have one more. Back to my original layer, rectangle marquee tool, click and drag over here, snap it at those lines, right click, layer via copy. You notice it doesn't copy this part because I'm on the correct layer. Okay, awesome. So now you should basically have your image in the center and each opposing quadrant. It's kind of complicated if you word it like that, but basically it looks like you copied this and it's right here. Okay, so essentially what I can do, I'm just going to change this up a little bit, and I'm going to turn off my original layer, and I'm going to make a new layer. Okay, and on that new layer I'm going to put another brush, but I'm going to change the size a little bit just to kind of, I want it to be inside. You can either go smaller or larger. So I'm going to make it just a little bit bigger, and I'm going to change the color. So actually, you know what? I'm going to do red. Beauty. Okay, so we have red and purple, and I'm also going to turn off this background layer 1. Okay, that means I can have a background image color, and it won't go to white. Okay, so essentially this is what yours has to look like. And I would like you to do the 2 different colors. And remember how I did that is I just turned the original image off that I cut. Okay, and so now that everything's together, I'm just going to merge layers. Everything except for the background layer. Merge layers. Awesome. I'm going to just delete that white layer. Now that it's all one layer, I'm going to select the entire thing with the rectangle marquee tool, edit, define pattern. And it automatically brings up complicated pattern. Perfect. Okay, so this is done. I would also go File, Save for Web and Device. JPEG 25, I can bump that up. Oh, even 100, perfect. Desktop, perfect. New document, 8.5 by 11. By 11, 72 pixels per inch, beauty, like that. Awesome. And I'm just gonna fill this. Actually, the beauty with making that a transparent color is that I can put any crazy design underneath. So if I want, oh, nothing like that. Okay, or I can just do a solid color, and I'll just do a solid color here to show you what I'm talking about. Blue like that maybe. Okay, awesome. Okay, now that that's a full color, what I will do, double click on it, you hit OK, double click on it again. You can see these options here. You're going to click on pattern overlay. Okay, that one comes up because that's the first one in default. Okay, here's our original one, right? But here's our new one. And you can see here it's a little bit different. You can change the opacity if you want, but I'm going to change the scale so it looks more like this. Big enough that you can tell what it is, small enough that it doesn't look dumb. Okay, so because I changed the background color and I have the 2 different color guys there, it kind of gives it a really unique look. It's almost like Christmas paper or wall paper. So that's essentially it. That's everything. Again, we're going to save this one for web and device. Perfect. 280. Take it down a bit. Perfect. Okay, so what I want you to do is make another pattern that has 2 colors just like this. And we're going to upload both those images. And that's everything.